Hello, my name is Sunil Robert. By nature, by profession, and by passion, I believe I'm a communicator. In fact, the greatest joy of my life is using my communication skills at work. In fact, if you look at my mission statement on LinkedIn, it says to use my communication skills to transform the world. Initially, I was too arrogant and I said transform the world. But many years later, more humbled, more subdued, I still say the same thing, that I'll transform my world with my communication skills. At this outset, I want to talk to you about how each of us are a brand. You know, when a couple gives birth to a child, they gave that baby, a girl or a boy, a particular name, and that name actually becomes a brand. You know, there are a few core qualities that represent that baby. You know, when we grow older, those qualities evolve, they change. But once they come towards early adulthood or early young adulthood, by then some degree of branding is established. Some of them are called extremely smart, some of them are called rebellious, some of them are seen as mercurial. Different temperaments are attached to them. So these are all called brand associations. But let me ask you a question. If your name means something, it is a promise that is built into your name, a brand promise, if you will. For example, my name means sunshine. Sunil in Hindi and in some languages of Indian origin means, loosely speaking, sunshine, sunlight, the warmth that is associated, and so on. So, leaving the mythological connotations aside, I do my best to live up to my name. Even when in the grumpiest of days, somebody cuts me off in traffic, even though I'm annoyed for a few seconds and I curse under my breath, within a few minutes, that gloomy or that grumpy weather passes and I'm back to my sunshine self. So that's the first quality of personal branding. What is your brand promise? Do you live up to the name that your parents have given to you? Now, in some faiths like mine, a name is symbolic of the larger life's mission and purpose. In fact, in Judaism and ancient literature, you will find a person having one particular name, and after an encounter with God, their name is changed because their destiny is changed. So let me ask you, what does your brand promise reflect? What does it connote the name that your parents have given and actually linked to your ultimate destiny? The French phrase raison d'être connotes what your brand signifies. What are you born here into this world for? The Telugu phrase Karana Janmudu means the reason for why you were born. Karanam means reason, Janmudu means a person who was born. The ultimate raison d'être, or the reason for your existence, is to fulfill a mission for which God created you, or if you don't believe in God, your own life's purpose, the purpose of your life. So, brand is actually linked to your destiny. Let me tell you my own personal encounter with this whole notion of branding. You know, back when I was a little boy, I was the biggest troublemaker at school. I used to be always restless, always getting into trouble. Every period I would ask my teacher if I could go to the bathroom. But despite all the mischief making and the trouble that I would get into school, behind all that streak of rebelliousness, my teacher saw a seed of potential in me. And that seed got uncovered in two areas: scripture memorization and public speaking. Anytime there was a competition around these two, I would just stop all my mischief and just be focused on those two endeavors. In fact, I still remember in my church when I finished all my memory recitation, I would be so competitive and I would so be greedy to even win it. I would look to the front of the church and read the verse that is actually there, look to the back of the church and read what's there inside the church to just get those 2 extra points. So there was this competitive nature that came along with the alignment of my core gifts, which is memorizing and a love for public speaking. Right there, my brand started getting noticed, saying that if there is a scripture competition, if there is a public speaking competition, Sunil from grade 5 or grade 6 is unbeatable. So brand promise will start getting realized when you start showing performance. So one is the potential and the promise, but as soon as you start radiating that into performance, then you're becoming a very productive individual and your brand promise is starting to shine. So there are many people in this world who are gifted with the potential and the promise. In fact, somebody said in a very famous book called Die Empty, they said the graveyard is the most tragic place on earth, not because our beloved are dead, because there are many people who die with their dreams unfulfilled, with their potential unfulfilled. So let me ask you this question. How are you fulfilling your brand promise? How are you fulfilling the potential for greatness that God has destined to? It won't be easy. It's not an overnight sensational success. It is a day-to-day habitual commitment to the brand promise that you believe is your calling. So, having discovered brand promise and brand potential, let me ask you to consider with me what are the next steps in identifying your brand and making your brand shine. For example, let's say you discover your core promise. It's like in any other tool that we buy at the marketplace. Let's say a smartphone or a good television or a computer or a bike or a car. Anything that you buy, you prefer something or reject something simply because of how you perceive it as a brand. It's all about perception. So if you want to get to a career of your choice, a dream career, if you want to get to a job, a dream job, or if you want to get a dream partner, a boyfriend or a girlfriend, whatever in your pursuit of relationships, ultimately it comes down to your own perception of how you see yourself as a brand. It comes down to your beliefs. Many people believe that they are just one among the billion people that inhabit our country. But you might be one among the billion, but I want to remind you that you are the only unique individual called you. Some myths exist that there are 5 or 6 people who look very similar to us. I want to debunk that myth. It's a myth. There is only one person who is as unique as you are. Your DNA is unique because the master maker who made you is a designer who does not make duplicates. He does not make photocopies. You are unique. Your gifts, your dreams, your passions, your impulses, they are unique. And so if you're going with your natural inclinations in one direction and society forces you into another direction, there is bound to be tension. So let me ask you, where is your brand promise leading you? What does the brand called you reflect, signify as the values that you bring to the world? So that's the second element. And the third element is, how diligent are you? And this is where I'll wrap up with the brand promise, brand performance, and brand perseverance. So 3 P's right there for you: brand promise, brand performance, and brand perseverance. We are not called to be just a flash in a pan, one streak of brilliance, and then you fade away. We are called upon to be persevering in our pursuit of our excellence. We are called to deliver to the world the gifts and values to the best of your ability. In fact, one of the struggles that I have for me is when is enough? For example, I'm very fond of running marathons, right? For example, I love to challenge myself no matter at what age I am. I'd like to be that fittest person in that age category. So your commitment to yourself, to your body, to your mind, to your spirit, staying faithful to your calling, these are elements of your brand perseverance. So examine yourself around these things. Do you know your brand promise? Are you performing to your brand performance that you're capable of delivering the best that you can at any given point of time? And are you staying the course week in, week out, month in, month out, season after season, delivering to the very best that God called you to be? So those are the three elements by which you can build a brand. And if you follow through with these three principles, you'll be unstoppable. You'll be unbeatable. You'll be indefatigable because you're staying the course. And success is bound to come and be chasing you. In fact, there's a Jewish blessing that says, may success chase you like a shadow. I mean, think about it. When you start aligning your beliefs and your behavior around these three elements, success is an inevitable outcome. So pursue your dreams along these three lines.